Hi, I'm Chef Michael Levins. I'm the professional cooking coordinator here at Howard Community College, and I'm here with one of my students, Marisol Campos. Today we're going to be making a demo of butternut squash-filled ravioli with fall harvest sauce. Some of the ingredients that we're going to be using today are readily available in the market at this time of year. So we have some butternut squash, some Bermuda onion, some Gala apples, some Granny Smith apples, some dried cranberries, and we've gone ahead in the interest of time and pre-caramelized some onions. We've already sautéed the apples. We have a little bit of heavy cream and a little bit of apple cider that we've already reduced by half. The other thing that I have here is some fresh sage from our garden, some shredded Asiago cheese, some chopped sage that we're going to use to sprinkle on top of our pasta when it's done, and some apple chips that we made in our food dehydrator. So the one thing at the holiday time I get asked a lot is what can I make for a relative or a friend that's vegetarian? And this butternut squash ravioli is a great item to make. It's actually a great family activity to do, and all the prep can be done a couple of days ahead of time. So butternut squash, when it's cut in half, looks like this. What we've done is we've pre-roasted it for about an hour in the oven with just a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper on it. And it's at the point now where if you were to insert a knife or a toothpick, it would actually go in and out very easily. All you have to do from this point is actually scoop the inside out with the spoon. The next thing that we can do, and again, this can be done ahead of time as well, is we're actually going to make our pasta dough. So our ingredients for this are 1 pound of flour, 5 eggs, and a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. So the first step is all the flour goes into the food processor at once. Pulse it a little bit, and then continue to add all the eggs in. There's already a pinch of salt in the flour just to help it mix a little more evenly, and then just a little bit of olive oil. So at this point, you can actually see that it does need to be worked with your hand for just a minute. And what'll happen is if you knead this on the counter for a minute or so, it will actually come out looking like this. This dough was actually made yesterday and taken out today and allowed to rest. So it's very pliable and can be rolled out either in a pasta machine attachment on a KitchenAid or just with a rolling pin in the kitchen. My suggestion would be to go ahead, roll this out ahead of time. So for this part, really all you need is a firm surface to work on. I recommend a cutting board, not actually working directly on a tabletop, and a cookie cutter. Really doesn't matter if you use a square shape or a round shape, it's really up to you. Okay, so once our dough is prepped and rolled out, all we have to do is cut out whatever shape we desire. The only other ingredient we really need at this point to work with is just a little bowl of water that we're actually just going to dab our fingers in and rub that around the pasta. That's actually going to help the two pieces of pasta seal. What we've done also is we've taken the butternut squash that we roasted off and pureed it in a food processor with a little bit of ricotta cheese, salt, pepper, and just a hint of brown sugar because this squash was actually not as sweet as we were hoping for. And what we've done is pre-filled a piping bag. Now at home, this could also be done with just a spoon, or you could actually fill a plastic sandwich bag and use that as a piping bag. The key thing here is that we want to stay as close to the center of the pasta as possible and not overfill it, because if there's too much filling in it, the filling leaks out of the pasta as it's cooking. So Marisol is just going to wet the outside of that, and then we're going to marry the two pieces together. Now this does take a little bit of pressure because you do want to form a good seam when you're doing this, again, because you don't want it to open up. One thing to consider too when working with fresh pasta is that we actually want the water at a simmer, not a rapid boil. Fresh pasta is very delicate and doesn't respond well to being in rapidly boiling water. Where a dry pasta generally takes anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes to cook, depending on the variety, fresh pasta generally takes about 6 minutes to cook. This product does have raw egg in it, so what we're looking for is to make this a safe product to eat and that the egg is fully cooked. So generally how we know that is the pasta will actually float to the top of the water, and at that point we're going to let it go about another 2 minutes to make sure that the inside filling has cooked all the way through as well. We've already made some ahead of time. And we've put them on a sheet tray with just a little bit of semolina flour. And the reason we do this, one, it helps it dry out just a little bit to give us a nicer consistency when the product is cooked. And also, if we were to make this for a large family gathering, we would need a lot, and it would help layers not stick together. So while this is in, I'm going to ask Marisol to turn on our saute pan and put in a little bit of olive oil for us. Now, once the pasta goes in, you want to gently stir it, again, just to make sure it doesn't all stick together. Let's go ahead and put all the onions and the sliced apples in. And you know what, why don't we throw some of the cranberries in too? I'm going to add the apple cider, which again was cooked down by about half, just to speed up the cooking process, as was the heavy cream. So at this point, we can actually take this to the table. And there's really no rules about this, but my style is I would like to put as many ingredients on top as possible. We're going to put just a little bit of fresh sage on here, a little bit of shredded Asiago, and if you wanted to add a textural element, you could do an apple chip for garnish. So there you go. So I'm Chef Michael Levins, Professional Cooking Coordinator here at Howard Community College. If you have any questions about this or any of our classes, please feel free to email me at mlevins@howardcc.edu. Enjoy the holidays.